Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me. I did this on my own. You asking where we been, huh? I don't know where to begin, huh? All this dirt on my skin. I just came here to win. I'm more than a man, I'm a monster. Somebody call a pastor, doctor. I got a 6 cents for imposters. So now I'm coming for the whole roster. It's not a game, why you playing with me? You could double back, lose track, try and hang with me. It must be in my veins, something you can't tame, cause I break the chains. Can't control me. I got the power, I got the keys, cause I break the chains. They try to hold me, I'ma push back, just wait.
We've got to raise the bar, and we've got to continue to raise the bar. I don't think any of those young men, when they signed to come to Tennessee, they signed to say they wanted to come and be a part of a 7-6 program. All right, they said they wanted to come and compete for championships, SEC championships, national championships. I know that's what I want. I know that's what Tennessee wants. I know that's what the expectation is. So we've got to continue to reassess everything that we're doing and make sure that we're continuing to move the needle in the right direction.
99% of the people in this world want to be great. Would you agree with that? Yeah, they're called wannabes. 1% work to be great. Drop the mic on that.
Yeah, I didn't sign any mustard bottles or golf balls. Maybe wish I had had a golf ball that night, you know what I mean? But I'm only kidding. All right.
The team makes 2 mistakes to win. Play forward, make the breaks, one comes always score. If it hurts, you ain't the breaks, no get you, don't let up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our leading our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, slides, 2 games after this win in. First sheet again, we're here for the first man. Can everybody keep it there for 60 minutes?
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Is that Dauber running? Is that Dauber sprinting back? Is he sprinting back to his computer? My name is Boogie Bentley.
I'm Dauber.
I'm Snake.
Look, we've been here for the highs. We've been here for the lows. It's going to be a typical Talkin VAWLS post-game show. We're going to kick things off with the Come to Jesus meeting. I'm going to piss a lot of people off. I told Dauber right before we went live, I said, I'm going to piss a lot of people off. And if you're not ready for this, then I'm sorry. You can deal with it because it's the reality. And I'm going to spit the truth at you people. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. Maybe come back tomorrow when my emotions calm down and the emotions cool off, when I have a night to sleep on it. But some people need a reality check. You need a reality check after we just lost to the Georgia Bulldogs 27-13. And I scroll through Twitter, man. I go onto Twitter throughout the game, and I look and I see what the pulse of the fan base is, what people think, what people believe, and I see a whole lot of freaking negativity. I see a whole lot of people turning their backs on Josh Heupel, turning their backs on this football team. I see so many people that are upset. We suck. We're terrible. We're awful. You know, it's the same people that Friday morning came at me and said, well, Boogie, why are you wearing an App State hat? Why are you wearing an App State hat, Boogie? They come at me and they say, Boogie, why are you so negative? Boogie, why are you down? The same people that come at me and say, Boogie, what are you talking about when you keep saying Georgia's the best team in the country? I don't understand. Like, I don't see it. Tennessee just lost to what I've called the best team in the country for weeks. And that's not necessarily the Come to Jesus meeting. The Come to Jesus meeting is realizing where we are at as a football program. Let's rewind. Let's go back to 2020. Let's go back to Jeremy Pruitt when Tennessee lost to Georgia 44-21. When Tennessee lost to Alabama 48-17. When Tennessee lost to Florida 31-19. We are just less than 2 years away from that. And I see you guys. I see St. Louis in the chat. They kicked our ass. Cool, man. Like, do you think the Jimmies and Joes line up with what Tennessee has compared to what Georgia has? You saw what happens. And I saw Gabe, God bless his soul. Young little pup Gabe. I can't wait to eat him alive on Monday morning for the morning stream. Josh Heupel did not get out-coached tonight. It is easy. It is so easy to go out there with 5-star defensive backs and say, go play man-to-man. Go play man-to-man. I'm going to bring the house. Go play man-to-man. Those defensive backs with Georgia locked down the Tennessee wide receivers. You want to talk about pressure on Hendon Hooker? You want to talk about Hendon Hooker holding on to the football? It's because that Georgia secondary locked down Tennessee's receivers all night long. But what I'm here to give the Come to Jesus meeting about, guys, we are still staring 11-1 in the face. Right in the face. We predicted 8-4. We predicted 7-5. We predicted 9-3. Nobody said 11-1. If I told you 6 months ago, Dauber, that Tennessee was going to be staring 11-1, and look, I am not accepting a loss. I am not here to preach moral victories. I'm just telling you, take a deep breath and realize where we're at. Dauber, this team's still looking at 11-1 right in the face. We're going to get into the game. Don't worry. We're going to get into the game. Don't you worry. But Dauber, this team's still looking at 11-1 and a big-time second season under Josh Heupel.
My man, I didn't know where you were going. You said you were coming in hot, and I was ready for it. I didn't know how you were spinning it, which way you were going. But, man, I'm in total agreement with you. Listen, we're in year 2. We're 1.5 seasons into Josh Heupel's tenure as head coach at Tennessee. He's won 8 conference games, more than Derek Dooley did in 3 years, half of what Butch Jones did in 5 years, and he should tie Jeremy Pruitt at 10 wins in 3 years by the end of this season. All the way to, like you just said, staring at 11-1, possibly or most likely a New Year's Six bowl, and potentially still sliding into the college football playoffs. Listen, we said 8-4, and anything else was icing on the cake. This team, they played their worst game of the year, and still only lost by 2 scores. And they left a lot out on the field, and there were lots of mistakes and miscues. That's stuff you can work on and clean up. So I don't – this wasn't being out-coached. This was, hey, Alabama came into Neyland, and they saw what home field advantage can do. I think Tennessee went down between the hedges, and I think that Georgia crowd, you look at all the procedure penalties. That was big. The miscue on the punt, I think, is really what kind of turned this game. Put this team chasing points and behind, and it never really recovered from that. And I agree with you. Like you said, we've not had to use that as an excuse this year because this team has showed out and played, but at the same time, there is still a discrepancy in the depth between Georgia and Tennessee. And it's not an excuse because this team, they made mistakes that could have changed the outcome of this game. So, it is what it is.
And I'll address it once because you just said it's not an excuse. And all the idiot, stupid, trash, garbage, Georgia fans that are in the chat and they're talking about excuses and nonsense and BS, nobody's making excuses. I've said for weeks, Georgia's the best team in the country. I know you're too stupid to listen to the words that come out of our mouth. Like you're going to form a narrative and you're going to talk about this and that and you're going to hurl insults, and that's fine. I know that's how your little pea brain works. I've given Georgia credit all year long. I am not surprised at all by the outcome of the game. Not one bit.
And I'm sorry, Snake. I know you've not jumped into this yet.
No, that's fine.
But I said Wednesday night after Uncle Lou was on, who he also said, I never thought we'd win a national championship with Stetson Bennett at quarterback. So you've got all these Georgia fans that aren't very happy with the quarterback, and they think, well, he's not that great. Even Big Dog, whoever that was on earlier, he said,
nice plug.
we've expected poor quarterback play. Hey, Stetson Bennett came out. He's the defending the quarterback for the defending national champs. He did, he did what he did last year. He played efficiently, moved the ball down the field, made the plays at the time he needed to make. And listen, this team, I don't want to say they weren't ready for it, because I think they were ready for it, but they just got outplayed. And that, hats off to Georgia. They played a great game. They had a good game plan. Their secondary was stifling. Tennessee couldn't do anything downfield. The coverage blanketed anything 10 to 15 yards plus down the field. And, Hooker, I did what you did too. I was on social media looking, and everybody dogging Hendon Hooker. Man, it wasn't Hendon Hooker. He could have tucked the ball and ran, but when you've got nobody to throw the ball to, it's tough. So, I mean, you can cast the blame on whoever you want, but Tennessee just got beat by the better team tonight.
Snake, let me jam through some super chats and we'll get your opening thoughts here. Elijah the Kid Allen in the house for $5. Thank you for super chat. They ran the same damn blitz every third and fourth down. Can we not add a tight end in pass pro? Probably. I got some questions about the play calling too. Hey, there's nothing wrong with questioning play calling versus turning your back on the team. Don't get that twisted. Don't get that twisted. VFL Willie for $5. It's not Hendon's fault. He got hit almost every drop back. Horrible O-line play, bad team effort. Hashtag GBO. Stevie J for $5. Proud of this Vols team. Congrats, Georgia. Go Vols. John Hill for $10. Man, do I hate Georgia. Hate them more now. Me too, John. Me too. I'm with you. We'll drown our sorrows together. Fido for $5. Winners enough. Enough secondary made Bennett look like a Heisman winner. Speaking of Heisman, say bye-bye to that Hooker. So many missed throws. I'm telling you guys, the fans are going to turn on this team real quick.
Just tried to do today. I mean,
they're going to turn on this team real quick. Mason Monroe for $5. Hyatt hurting his ankle. Calls that dumbass ref was a game changer. What a weird play that. It's typical Tennessee football. Pova 1002 for $5. O-line play put me in an early grade, but we fought. GBO. Coach Hud for $5. Deep down, we always knew this roster had flaws. Just got to stack some recruiting classes. Lack of elite talent. DBs and O-line were obvious. Look, Georgia's defensive backs are elite. They're elite. Angry Titan for $2. Exactly, Boogie. Fairweather fans. I guess they're fair weather. I don't know, man. It's like so many people in this fan base turn on a football team over one game. It's like leading into the game, they're screaming at me for saying, hey, Georgia's good. And then when the game's over, they scream and say, oh, no, we suck again. It just blows my mind. It blows my mind how that works. VFL Willie for $2. We had our shots. We just missed. They did have a couple of deep shots that they missed. Fido for $5. I love this team. This one stinks so bad. I fluffing hate Georgia. It's good. It's good to hurt Fido because it means we're back. Philip Scout for $5. Love this team. These guys didn't stop fighting, by the way. How about that defense? They did all we could have asked of them and more. Trey Elder for $5. Just got to take the next step and start stacking top 5 recruiting classes. GBO. And again, going back to the Come to Jesus meeting, we're staring 11-1 right in the face. If I told you 6 months ago you could have 11-1 in a New Year's Six Bowl, every single one of you 948 people watching live would have said, sign me up for that. Let's go. John Hill for $10. This is why I had the squirts all week. I was worried Georgia's D would lay us out. We were 4-7 2 years ago and 11-1. Awesome in Heupel's second year. 100%, John. Noah Driscoll for $5. Tough loss, but I still love my Vols. Georgia just showed why to be the man. You got to beat the man. Hashtag go Vols. Joe Brown for $2. Our D looked good. Our O was still in Knoxville. You got to give credit to Georgia, though, man. Stop hating on Tennessee's offense and give credit to Georgia's defense. JT Fishing for $5. Ignore the trash, guys. It'll take itself out. Very classy. A man tells you good game. Y'all deserve the win, and y'all still want to tell him to cry. You're a bunch of clowns. It's weird. It's weird. I know it's the internet, and when Georgia fans come in and start yelling, they're not necessarily talking to us. They're talking to some random person they came across on the internet, and they come here to say, Boogie, you said this. No, I did. I really didn't say that, but thanks for being here and putting money in our pockets. We appreciate it. 5-0-for-2. Did someone call and check on JP? No, pretty sure he's probably broken a TV by now. Will B for 5. Do you feel like Hooker was hesitating on the throws? If so, why? Just different reasons. No, Dauber touched on that earlier. We were talking about it in text. Nobody was open. Nobody was open. That's it.
He was trying to make stuff happen, and nobody was open.
We still got a bunch of.
I was going to say, could he have tucked the ball and ran? Yeah, probably a few times, but he was trying to push the ball downfield and make stuff happen like he has all year, and it wasn't there. So, offensive line had their worst game to date. Hooker, number-wise, was still, 23 of 33. That's not bad, but, Snake's not talked yet.
Snake, we still got a ton of super chats coming in. I'm going to circle around and get back to those. Snake, give us your opening thoughts. We've unpacked a lot in 15 minutes. The grand scheme of things, the overall game. What you take it however you want to take it. You want to yell at people. You want to yell at me. You can yell at whoever you want to yell at.
No, I'm with you guys. I'm on board with everything you're saying. I mean, it's an amazing season. Just sit back and enjoy it is the way I see it. I mean, no one would have ever thought that we'd be at this point, right? Being ranked number 1, what? Crazy. But yeah, the game, we got whipped. I mean, it was obvious. There's not much else to add to what you guys said. Their DBs locked us down. Hendon looked hesitant to me the whole time, held the ball like they said. O-line penalties were ridiculous. I mean, we got to find a way to play in a loud environment without that happening. That was awful. I don't know. Stetson Bennett balled out. I think he made two of the biggest plays that won the game for him, probably set the momentum. We could not get the momentum changed the whole game. So that was pretty much it.
But are you really surprised by that? Like, I feel like people are all of a sudden shocked by Stetson Bennett playing good football. Yeah. Like Dauber said earlier in the show, that's your quarterback for your defending national champions.
Yeah. And I said it Tuesday night and Wednesday night because everybody was dogging Stetson Bennett. And listen, they dogged Richardson before the Florida game. He comes out and throws for 400 yards. Anybody that is worth anything as an offensive coach looks at Tennessee on film and says, I know what we have to do to beat them. Let's throw the ball deep. That's what I'd line up and do every single play. And I mean,
yeah, they had the right game plan. They went out and executed, and they're a lot deeper than we are. They're farther along than we are. I'm just happy we're here, right? I'm happy we're to that point where we get to go play in these kind of games. And in a couple of years, we're going to be the ones, right? Go out there, play your best, do what you can do, see if you can. I mean, a couple of plays, guys, and this game goes into overtime. I mean, it was awful. It's probably the worst game I've seen us play in 3 years. But like Dauber said,
lost by 2 scores.
And I think it set the tone early. It set the tone early when Tennessee got the turnover, and then they settled for a field goal.
Yeah.
And then there was another drive. A couple of drives later, they settled for a field goal. And it's you go get 6 there, that kind of changes the momentum of the game early.
Let me cut you off right there because this was one of my big issues in the game. It was a 3rd and 2, and you had false start to go to 3rd and 7, and you had false start to go to 3rd and 12, and then you don't pick it up and have to kick a field goal.
And we can talk about environment and noise. And look, Georgia brought the noise. We knew they were going to. Kirby Smart didn't need to run his mouth. Eric Ainge needs to. I don't know. Keep your mouth shut, Eric Ainge. Keep. It's not 2004 anymore. Like, keep your mouth shut. We knew Georgia was going to show up and make noise. Like they were thriving on the fact that Tennessee was ranked number 1. They could not wait to prove a point. That's why the chat all week long has been so hostile. That's why their fans have been. And look, Wednesday night with Uncle Lou was a blast. Having Uncle Lou on here, having the chat going back and forth, so hostile. It was great. It was fun. That's what college football is all about. But we knew Georgia was going to show up and make noise. But we've seen Tennessee do that all year. We've seen them with pre-snap penalties all year long. All year long, they've struggled with it.
Yeah, can they fix it in this offense? I don't know. It's plagued us all year, like you said. They've got to be able to do something to take care of that. They can't just continue on and on with that. I mean, it's basically unexcusable 9 games into the season, but I don't know.
We got a ton of super chats. Let me jam through some more. Steven86 becomes a member of the channel. Thank you for that. Joel Heisman Trophy winner is in the house, dropping a 50 spot. That ain't cheap. You know what we got to do? What do we got to do? Play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Joel for 50, going to insult some people. All you stupid Vol fans wanting to fire Coach Josh Heupel and turning your back on this team, saying we're 8-4. Now all can piss off, Joel says, not me. I'm tired of you idiots, Joel says, not me, that don't understand how difficult it is to go undefeated in the SEC. We're in year 2. Calm down. Joel, thank you for the super chat. Very generous. 50 spot. That ain't cheap.
You didn't yell it, man. He yelled it. It was all capped. Calm down. Yell it.
I mean, I thought I yelled it pretty loud. Johnny Freeze for 10. Still proud of our boys. This season is already greater than most expected. Go big. Dang Orange, I think he means. Thank you for that, Johnny. Noah James for 5. I'm going to the Mizzou game. First time in Neyland. GBO. Have a blast, man. You'll enjoy it. You'll never forget it. Daniel Holter for 50. That ain't cheap.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Daniel Holter for $50. That ain't cheap. Says, let's go. Still a lot to play for. We will get there. GBO. Thank you for the super chat, Daniel. Very, very generous. We appreciate that. Tajon Washington for 5. Y'all easily forget where we were prior to the Heupel era. We will be fine. GBO. Preach boogie. I felt like I needed to address Vol Nation at the top of the show there. Frank Reynolds for 2. Bandwagon fans hop off now to save room for VFLs. Carl for 5 says Hooker held onto the ball too long. He was afraid to throw it. Had many guys open at their cuts. Not sure where the confidence. Carl, were you at the game? That's where I would question that. Were you at the game? Because if you're on TV, you can't see that. You can't see downfield if guys were open or not. So I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. One thing that I would agree with you on, Carl, is Hendon's got to do a better job getting rid of the football. If people aren't open, throw it away.
Or run.
Don't take a sack. Throw it away. And I get it. He's standing back there trying to make a play. You either got to get out of the pocket or throw it away, one or the other. Brian for 5, do you think we still have a shot at the college football playoff, or do you think we'll drop? I think so. A 2-score loss to Georgia, they go win the SEC championship. Tennessee takes care of business with a win over Alabama, a win over LSU. Who's winning this game right now? Let me look at the scoreboard here. It's
0-0,
showing. It's just showing the starting lineups. I can't see the score. I don't know that it really matters, though, because what's Alabama? Alabama's 6, LSU's 10. Either way, Tennessee has a win over both of them. Mm-hmm. And then Georgia, I think it's crucial for Georgia to win out and Georgia to win the SEC championship. And I think that Tennessee has a very legit argument. The Optimist Traveler for 5, root for Georgia to crush everyone. That's what I just said, including SEC championship, run up the score on everyone. Good shot at the college football playoff. If it plays out, only 3 points in the second half. Charles Bodman for $20. That ain't cheap. As mad as I am about the laws, the players are madder. Yeah, nobody hurts like those kids hurt. Nobody hurts like Josh Heupel hurts. We can pretend and we can act like they don't care. Those kids are broken, and that's why I think we got to remember where this team's at compared to where they were a year ago, 2 years ago. Chris for 10. Before the season started, Tennessee was 10-2 at best. We're where we want to be. Relax. I like it. World Travel Nerd for 5. Like we said this week, play this game 10 times. It ends 10 different ways. Our deep balls connect. It's a different ending. Kids played hard. Go Big Orange. Seth Brooks for $50. That ain't cheap. I'll play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Seth for $50. That ain't cheap. Says it's just so frustrating to go out and not produce in any capacity. We look like trash tonight. We're a better team than that. I wanted to see Bennett get knocked out with that cocky smirk he has. Where are we at in the college football playoff rankings now? Go Big Orange. Look, it's frustrating, Seth. It's okay. It's okay to hurt. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to be frustrated. But to say that this team just went out and looked like trash, you got to give Georgia credit where credit is due because they are a legit football team. I've been saying it for weeks and people didn't like it. They didn't like it, but it's the reality of the situation. They are a legitimate football team. Seth, it's okay to hurt. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to be frustrated. Wake up tomorrow, look at where we're at, and let's go from there. David B for 10. Everything went perfect for Georgia. They still only won by 2 touchdowns. Crowd definitely played a factor as well. There are more still positive to look at, especially if we rematch them in the college football playoff. Murphy's Burrow for 5. Would have liked to see some screenplays to counter the blitz. Redneck Dwarf for 10. Lifelong fan. We got beat by the better team today. Season isn't over. Ride or die VFL. Jeff Puckett for 5. Guys, Georgia has spent time off and on throughout the fall preparing for Tennessee. We haven't had that luxury. That played a role. That's a good point. Wade Rouse for 10. I said 11-1 at the beginning of the year and got called crazy. I think that's where we end up. Kirby said before the game they were prepared for this offense in the summer. Still proud of this year. Fighter Productions for 5. Home field advantage was a major play in this loss. Kirby got what he asked for. Rich for 5. We got out-coached, out-schemed. That was the most shocking thing about this game. Georgia had a plan and executed. I disagree with this super chat. With my remote in my hand, with my TV remote in my hand. I disagree. We did not get out coached. We did not get out schemed. We got out jimmied and Joed. Go ahead, Dauber.
You saw was it Warren that had the ball, probably a yard longer than when he dove for. You saw McCoy running wide open, schemed wide open, and Hooker overthrew it. You said it earlier, Boogie. You said this team they were outplayed, and it was because of the talent. And I hate to go back to that, but the reality is, look at where this team was when Josh Heupel took over. Look where they are. They overachieved last year and set all these expectations, and then starting 8-0 ramps everything up, and then you have these, man, I think I'm going to be like you. I'm going to piss everybody off. You have these fringe fans come in that weren't around when this team was struggling, and now they're the ones complaining. They're being loud, and this team sucks. Fire the coaching staff, this and that. The offense sucks. No, this team just isn't at the same level. Could they have won this game? Yeah. They played their worst game of the year. Worst game of the season. Offensively and defensively. After probably playing their best last week against Kentucky. And they still only lost by 2 scores. And you are talking about the third-ranked team in the country. It's not an unranked Missouri like Georgia struggled with or, something like that. It's not Ohio State and Northwestern. It is a top 5 matchup that for, in my notes here, chunk plays by Georgia, mistakes by Tennessee. I've got Turnage got beat for 40-plus yards, a 49-yard pass to McIntosh. Slaughter got beat by a double move. It's these things. And that is where coaching and talent closes that gap. And I hate to sound like Jeremy Pruitt talking about closing the talent gap and all that, but it is a real thing.
Snake?
I don't know how you guys can say that. I don't know. I do think that Kirby Smart had a great scheme for the game. So
no doubt, but I don't think
you can say that we didn't get out-coached. I don't know. It felt like we were flat the whole game. We didn't have an answer for their defensive scheme. Nobody was open the whole. Our blitz and our D-line didn't get anywhere. I mean, so you could make the case that we got out-coached, but I don't care. I'm still not. I'm not blaming Heupel at all because.
No, yeah. Well, let me counter argue that when you say. Our blitz didn't get home. So we called the blitz. It didn't get home. Why not? Why was nobody open down the field? It's like playing NCAA, right? If I got better talent than you, guess what? I can blitz 7 guys and just go man on man and blitz all day long. And that's what Georgia did a lot of. And, Dauber texted me and he's like, man, a buddy of mine saying Hendon's holding on to the ball too long. And I just responded and said, because nobody's open. And at the same time, he texts me back and says, because nobody's open. Like, we're on the same wavelength. Nobody was getting open because Georgia has talent. That's the part that drives me nuts. Georgia has more talent, period. If you don't see it, you don't understand that, then I don't know what to tell you.
That the best quarterback in the country just all of a sudden forgot how to play and throw the ball to people in one game. There was nobody to throw the ball to because they were covered. Yes, Snake, you're right. There could have been adjustments made, and that is probably what you take away from this. The coaching staff could have made adjustments at halftime, during the game, yes. But to say that they got out-coached, no. They got out-talented.
Well, I mean, it's part of the game, right? I mean, it's part of the game. It's part of the game is trying to out-scheme the other team based on the players you have. I mean, I mean, you can make the argument either way. I think that Georgia knew what they needed to do and they came out and did it, right? So you can say that basically.
My where I would agree with you in talking about scheme and play calling and what they chose to do, I thought going into this game, Uncle Lou was on Wednesday and somebody said he was in the chat saying that I'm an idiot. I hope he's not. If I find out he is, like, what a stupid mistake on his part. Like, why would you do that? Like, we had a great conversation Wednesday talking football. Like, you want to come in and talk trash, that's fine. But Uncle Lou talked about winning the game by running the football. And I thought for Tennessee to really have success running the football, they needed to get Hendon Hooker involved. And I felt as the game was going on, it's like, man, get Hendon going. And it's not like Georgia dominated the ground game. Georgia had 100
yards to 94 yards.
Yeah, 130 yards rushing. Tennessee had 94. But I really think if Tennessee had really gotten Hendon Hooker involved, and we didn't see that, man. We saw it on what? Was it a 4th down play where they ran the sweep with Hendon Hooker, and he walked to a first down. Why not give me some of that on 3rd down? Like just mix it up, man. I think that this team really rolls when Hendon Hooker is running the football. And we didn't really see that tonight. So, I mean, that's part of it, Snake, when you say getting out-coached. It's your job if you don't have the players. Like, does anybody in this chat, on this panel, think that Tennessee has better talent than Alabama? 100% not. No, nobody's believing that. Nobody believes that Tennessee has better talent. But they put together a game plan. They found a way to manipulate matchups to get Jalen Hyatt open all day. And Kirby Smart said, okay, hold my beer. I'm going to lock down your wide receivers. What are you going to do to counter it? And Josh Heupel didn't have an answer for that.
Yeah,
so maybe you're a little bit right there saying that he got out coached. Jimmy's and Joe's played a factor in it, but it's up to Josh Heupel and his coaching staff to counter. I just don't. The reason I'm coming in so hot and aggressive, I don't want our fan base to get lost on where we're at. Just because Tennessee lost to Georgia, and I get it, it is fun. It's a lot of fun to have that number 1 beside your name and be able to talk trash and cut up and brag about it. But bottom line is, I've said for weeks, Georgia's the best team in the country. Doesn't matter what number is beside your name, Dauber.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, for everybody that was, we're going to score 55 points. We're going to do this and that. And I said 31 to 27 or something like that. I called a close, tight game. And, I didn't see this team going down and offensively putting on the show that they did because of Georgia's defense. Hats off and credit to them. Kirby Smart is a defensive coach, and it is what it is. I still think, and I'll stand by. I will stand by. I think that this game boils down to talent.
Well, we're here. We are where we are because of Heupel, right? So don't get me wrong, Boogie. That I think that we're going to get out schemed, and we need to move on from this offense and all that. That's definitely not what I'm saying. Anybody that comes out and says, okay, we're tired of this Heupel getting, out coach stuff. No way. You can't make that argument at all.
to my point, you did still see the scheme working. You saw McCoy running wide open. You saw Warren running wide open, and the plays weren't made. You saw Hooker not having time because of the talent gap between the Georgia defense and the Tennessee offensive line. The blocks, they were whiffing on blocks. They weren't even calling out blocks on the backside. Georgia was the better team. And
their defensive scheme was really good tonight. Really good.
It's hard for me to swallow to say, oh, they got out-coached. It wasn't the coaches out there on the field playing.
Hey, hold on a second here. Uncle Lou, out YouTubed? You're in my chat, bro. I'm live with 1,000 people watching, and you're in my chat, bro. Like, you're putting money in my pocket, Lou. Like, I love you. I enjoyed the show Wednesday, but don't come at me with that out YouTubed. You're in my chat while I'm making money, bro. Like, who got out YouTubed? You're not live. You're giving the money. You should be making the money, Lou. Lou, where you at? Where you at, Lou? You're in the chat, bro. You're in the chat. Don't out YouTube.
Why is Uncle Bill even in here with us?
Because he loves the Talkin VAWLS Network. He loves the Talkin VAWLS.
Uncle Bill too, man.
Yeah, Uncle Bill's the man. Uncle Bill's the man. Let me jam through some super chats here and show Uncle Lou just how much we're out YouTubing him. If you hate Uncle Lou, drop a super chat. I will read it just for him. Hey, you guys wanted Wednesday to insult Lou, and I told you no. You want to insult him now? Go ahead. Go ahead and insult Uncle Lou. J Martin for 10. Thank you for super chat. Tennessee just got beat by the better team tonight from a Tennessee fan. I've said it. I've said it for weeks.
And I've said it too. And
people didn't like it.
David Rundle in the chat saying, I can't admit that Georgia was way better. I mean, come on, get out of here, man. I've said Georgia was a better team, and Georgia beat them because they have more talent right now. Come on.
Give him a JP. Get out of here, man. I'm trying to read the chat. I'm really trying to enjoy the chat as I'm reading super chats. Angry Titan for 5. Boogie, you let Uncle Lou on the show. Now he's in here saying you look silly, disrespectful. Hey, he can say whatever he wants, man. It's okay. We had a great conversation Wednesday. We made a lot of money too. So thank you for that, Uncle Lou. Bova 1002 for 5. False starts and knocking around their fair catch were awful. Yeah, undisciplined football. Alex Cole for 10. It's not coaching. It's the Jimmys and Joes. That simple. We're going to be okay.
Watch out saying that.
They're going to come in hot. Going to come in hot. Austin Byers for 10. Embarrassing loss. Man, is it embarrassing? Like, I feel like this fan base, I feel like they build themselves up so much that we are unbeatable. And then when you lose to a better team, how dare I say it, a better team, all of a sudden it's embarrassing. It reminds me a lot of last year, right? Going into the Ole Miss game. This fan base worked themselves up into a frenzy, and it was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun going on that ride, going on that journey to that game, and then they lose, and people are like, oh, we suck again. It's like, dude, like realize where we're at. Austin says, Hooker did not play like we were used to him playing, missed a few long balls that could have changed the outcome, should have taken shots deep at the end. Thank you for Super Chat. Rhythm Badge for 2. Hooker needs to be more mobile in the pocket. Joe Brown for 2. 11-1. Bounce back for a natty. Sign me up for that. I'll take it. Drew becomes a member of the channel. Thank you, Drew. We appreciate that. Dude Mediocre becomes a member as well. Thank you. Joe Williams, 99-cent super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Nothing to say, just a tip in the tip jar. Atomic Gasman for 2. Georgia dominated the line of scrimmage on both sides. That played a factor in the game. The anti for 5. Lots of teams look bad against Georgia. Was just art. Oh, your turn. Oh, so it's a Georgia fan. Do I really need to remind you? I'll do it. I don't care. Win, lose, indifferent. I will continue to say this. I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none.
Mic drop, right?
I'll throw this out there for everybody dogging Hendon Hooker and him not throwing the ball down. Look what happened when he did throw the ball downfield. When he forced the ball downfield, Keely Ringo picks it off. Good coverage.
Amazing play.
This is a great football play. Good football play.
Blanketing the receiver and picks it off. So You tell me again that the best quarterback in college football this season just all of a sudden forgot how to play and decided, I'm not going to throw the ball downfield. No, he couldn't throw the ball downfield. Pure and simple.
Just good football play, man. And again, it goes back to, you're not giving Georgia credit. Yo, yeah, you threw a 50-50 ball to our biggest, most physical wide receiver, and your DB went up and made a play. Like that's all it was. That's all it was.
For everybody saying Hooker just didn't throw the ball, he did. And when he did, it got picked off. So that's why he wasn't forcing the ball, because he's been so smart all season long. He doesn't force the ball. That's why he wasn't throwing the ball downfield.
He was hesitant, though, man. I don't think it. I mean, he could have played better, right? He didn't play.
He should have got rid of the ball. Like he should.
Yeah.
I don't think he should have forced it down the
it.
field. I think he should have got rid of the ball. That was the problem.
Yeah, get rid of it.
Yeah,
maybe.
but
I
don't
mean,
take a
maybe he
sack,
learned a little
run,
bit.
But he didn't put the ball in harm's way. He didn't try to force it, other than that one play downfield. And
that's not really forcing it. How many touchdowns has he thrown doing that to Cedric Tillman?
Right. I mean, I would ride with Tillman. You know, that Ringo's probably Georgia's best cornerback, you know, but that's a ball that I, 100% Tillman, you know, that's probably a 50-50 ball. But man, just it kills me. It kills me. All this stuff coming sideways at this team. Listen, they've already won 8 games. They've already hit the win mark that I picked for the season. So we're playing with house money. We called Alabama.
They're not just playing with house money. They're about to go dominate the last 3 games of the season. It ain't even house money.
Alabama was a loss. Georgia was a loss.
They are the casino.
Florida
man.
was probably a loss. Man, this team is so far ahead of where anybody would have put them, except for a few wackos that always say 11-1, 12-0, undefeated.
Have a take.
I mean, come on.
I love it.
I'm seeing red right now.
Hey, did you think it was interesting that Fant was in there running a streak there at the end of the game? I mean, and I don't know. Where was Ramel Keaton? Why is he not in the game at that point? I thought that was interesting. I don't know. Let's get back on the game a little bit, but
I just wondered if it was trying to catch him off schematically, right? Putting him out there and they're not expecting him to run a go route. Yeah, a go route down the sideline. And again, that's one that Dauber touched on earlier. A better throw. And look, man, like it's not like that's a terrible throw. Yeah, it's like, well, why didn't you drop a dime on him 40 yards down the field? I don't know, man. Maybe because the wind's blowing and it's pouring rain and I'm juiced up and I'm playing college football and it's not always easy to connect. I know it looks easy. When Jalen Hyatt's running down the field 99% of the time wide open. Yeah. But
he didn't have the best game ever. But he's playing the best team, in college football right now, in my opinion. So, like Dauber said, they'll
all agree with you now for saying that. They've hated me for weeks for saying that. So, congratulations, Snake, for coming around late to the party. That's. This isn't making an excuse. It's just talking about the game. I really do feel like Georgia played. And I said all week they're going to come to play. You don't think Georgia's pissed off? You don't think they're pissed? You don't think they're paying attention? You don't think that they see Tennessee #1 in the college football playoff rankings? Everybody talking about Georgia sucks and Georgia's overrated and this and that and the other. And I'm this lone little guy on the corner of the internet going, guys, Georgia's good. They're legit. Well, stop sucking up to Uncle Lou, Boogie. I've been saying it for freaking 5 weeks. It has nothing to do with Uncle Luke coming on the show. I've been saying it for weeks that Georgia's the best team in college football.
You
saw it.
If they know you at all, Boogie, then they would know that you would not say that Georgia is good unless you really thought it.
I'm absolutely not going to sugarcoat that and pretend that Georgia's good. Look at my face turning red. My blood pressure's going up because I hate these sons of bitches so much. So I'll play it one more time. I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none.
My mom's half from Georgia.
I hate her too. I love watching Eric. I love watching Eric in that clip. A member of the media going, "Oh my God, we can't say this." No, screw everybody that pulls for Georgia. I hate I hate Uncle Lou. Can't stand the guy. Can't stand the guy. But he brings good football analysis, and he's welcome on the show. Even if he thinks I'm a clown and he says he out YouTubes me, we can talk numbers, Lou. We can talk numbers. Let me hit some super chats. Big Orange Typhoon for 20. Hendon's pocket awareness off. Worked the sidelines, not the middle enough. It was open most of the night. We still get in and go Big Orange. We can get into that in a little bit, whether or not Tennessee will make the college football playoff. Cody for 5, simply outplayed tonight, but need to stay the course and let the cards fall as they may. Stay locked in and finish the season 11-1. Let's get to a rematch. I like it. Thank you for Super Chat. Fido Productions for 5. Kirby paid more for this team than all the Super Chats this channel has ever gotten combined. Kent State's probably paid more than the Super Chats that this channel's pulled in. But thank you for the 5. We'll try to get it closer. Benjamin Kite for 5. Still looking forward to 11-1. Not a fan of Uncle Luke calling Vol and Talkin VAWLS delusional. Fans get excited and talk. It is what it is. Let Luke talk. He can do whatever he wants. It's fine. He's a good dude. Daniel Skelton for 10. Boogie, I completely disagree with you. Oh, my God. How dare you? How dare you, Daniel? We got out-coached so bad our conservative play calling left us with 3 to 5 yard gains here and there, and you can't do that with a team like Georgia. Why did they get that, though? Why did the play calling lead to 3 and 5 yard gains? Because nobody was open downfield all day long.
They were taking what Georgia gave them.
That is the key. That is the story of the football game. But that's cool, Daniel. If you disagree with me, that's great. Steven for 5. Guess what? Tennessee played a national championship team. We lost. What's next? And who are we recruiting? Let's go with that. Joe Bird for 2. Thank you for Super Chat. Nothing to say. Brad for 10. Lou should live making money for his.
Should be live, baby.
I said you guys could insult him, but I still don't think it's cool to go after his personal life. Dustin Phillips for 10. BBS is back, baby. Tennessee did what they always eventually do. Self-implosion, we can't hang when it's all on the line. I don't think it's self-implosion, man. Like, I appreciate your super chats and your comments, but I just disagree. I don't think this is implosion. Bill Kell for 2. Uncle Lou is a jackass. Did you hear that, Lou? You're a jackass. Ralph Keith for $50. That ain't cheap. I'll play the clip. I'll play the clip if I can find it. I'm trying to find the clip of where I tell Georgia fans they suck.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 million man.
Ralph for $50. Love you, T. I'm so proud of where you've come. I can't wait for the future. Thanks, Boogie and the team, for all you do. What a very optimistic super chat. I love it, Ralph. Thank you for the tip. We're in the same boat, man. Proud of where this football team is at. And that's not making up excuses. That's not a moral victory. It's just saying we are where we are. We're staring 11-1 in the face, and I love it. Thank you, Ralph, for the super chat. Wayne for 20. Uncle Lou mad. There's only real men in the chat and not a 16-year-old trying to fight a keyboard warrior. Go Vols. Thank you, Wayne, for the super chat. Elijah for $5. I cursed us by getting a mullet today. Y'all can blame me. Can I at least see a picture of that, Elijah?
Oh, I saw a good one at Sport Clips this week, man.
Please tweet me a picture of that mullet. I would love to see it. Matthew Ford for 2. I hope Hyatt and Tillman and Hooker are okay. Especially Hyatt, man. He got dinged up a couple of times. Jabari Small got shook up as well. Tyler Evans for 2. Drink a few. I'll take a drive, Uncle Lou. Thank you, Tyler. Angry Titan for 2. Is Uncle Lou even allowed to leave his state? I told you guys you could do it. This is all my fault. Jeff Puckett for 5. Kirby himself said they have spent a lot of time preparing for this game. He mentioned Missouri, Kent State, and a bye week. Better talent. That's huge. We couldn't. That's a good point.
You made a text to me during the game, Boogie, and you said since week 1 against Oregon, Georgia's been on cruise control. They've not really been challenged. They've not really had to game plan. They could be in cruise control against Missouri and Kent State and have a close game, and the better talent wins. So, all this, Georgia's prepared for Tennessee since the summer. Kirby Smart said that. I mean, that they've had that luxury, but they've also got the luxury of having talent upon talent upon talent, where And listen, it's not an excuse, but it is the reality of the fact. There is a drop-off from Tennessee's ones to their twos and Georgia's ones to their twos. That's the reality of it. But listen, still, first game of the season for the Vols, lost by 2 scores.
Let me get back to Super Chats. I'm just waiting on you to finish, and I'm sorting Super Chats. Redneck Dwarf for 10, insult Uncle Lou. Nah, I'll save it for someone worthy. You want to insult Dauber? I'll take a $10 Super Chat to insult Dauber's sweet mustache. We'll allow that. We'll allow that. D Carr for 5, the greatest voice of the Tennessee Talkin VAWLS Network fan call-in show. Thank you for the $5, D Carr. We appreciate it. Dallas Schwartz becomes a member of the channel. Dan Yoder for 10, probably will set Boogie off. Oh, God, here we go. But Kirby addressed their glaring weakness. They got to the QB, and they got through our heads. We went out GBO. I don't know if that necessarily pisses me off. It's true. They made plays. They got to Hendon Hooker, whether it was dialed-up blitzes, whether it was coverage sacks. They got to him all night long. It's part of it. John Cunningham for 20. That ain't cheap. Georgia's a great team. That is not why they lost. They lost because Hooker could not hit open receivers over and over again. Guys, if it was just about talent, then Kent State would have scored like they did, or Mizzou. Okay. Maybe. Todd Hurley for 2. Fluff Uncle Lou. Go Big Orange. I love Talkin VAWLS. Screw Lou. I hope you heard that, Lou. Big Orange Typhoon for 20. All the Vol haters can dish it out but don't like receiving it. We are still here and still going to talk trash. Uncle Lou can choke on this week's Your Season is Over. I'm curious, you think Lou's going to make a Tennessee Your Season is Over? If he does, he's a liar, because I think Tennessee can still sneak in. He would lost without Georgia. He would be lost without Georgia football. GBO. Ashby Wilson for 10. Just makes me sad, but I see Tennessee fans on Twitter mentioning players in tweets, talking crap to them, and that brings back that loser mentality we had forever. We don't have room for that. I would agree with Ashby on that. Don't be tagging players. Don't tag Josh Heupel. We got to support this team, man. Like, you got to. Snake, how can you not be proud of where this football team is at? How can you not be proud of where they're at in November?
I have no idea how you could have that take on stuff. I have no idea, because this is an amazing ride this year. No one would have ever thought that we'd be ranked number 1 when the first playoff ranking came out, right? No one.
Not a chance.
No, I wouldn't even have put $5 on that at the start of the season. So this is an amazing year, amazing team, amazing seeing Coach Heupel change, everything about the program for the last, several years. So I'm on board.
I mean, it's how could you not be happy? And when the college football playoff rankings came out, we talked about it, and it doesn't mean Tennessee's the best football team in the country. It means they have the best resume in the country. Right, Dauber, at the time, they had the best resume, and we were all in agreement that Georgia, well, I was. I thought Georgia was the best football team in the country, and they proved it tonight. And Tennessee still has an opportunity. Look, they have a big-time win. Big-time win over Alabama. And then when you look at the strength of schedule, your only loss is going to be by 2 touchdowns to the undisputed number 1 team in the country. You got an argument to sneak your way in. We were talking about this scenario weeks ago. People were saying, would you rather just lose to Georgia and sneak your way in instead? Look, I want to go to Atlanta. I want an SEC championship. It's not going to happen now. But this was the conversation that we were having, Dauber, just weeks ago.
Yeah, and I talked about Roman Harper on SEC Nation a couple weeks ago. And he said they were down in Baton Rouge, and he said, well, it might not be the best or the worst thing for Tennessee to go lose in Athens. And Booger McFarland said, are you out of your damn mind? And that's the mentality you got to have. You can't just pack it in and say, well, we'll just go down to Athens and, hope we play some football and then maybe we'll sneak in. No, they went down. They tried to win. They didn't. Hell, maybe they got out-coached because they didn't change throughout the game. And this is emotional. It's hot right after the game. I'll tell you what, they got outplayed. That's for damn sure. They outcoached maybe because adjustments weren't made. But at the end of the day, I'm riding with this team. This team has been so fun to watch, and we're looking at 11-1. I mean, look at what's left to close out the season. How can you not think that this team's not going to go 11-1?
If the chips fall correctly, right, we catch a break, we're in the playoffs. You cannot ask for anything more, right?
Yeah.
Let me hit some more super chats. Did I hit this? Ashby Wilson. Yes, I hit that one. Benjamin Cott for 5. You would have told me before the season we'd be looking at 11-1 with one loss to the defending champs, Georgia. I'd be like, okay, I'll take it. Everybody in this fan base would say that. This is what I love when Ole Miss fans are in the chat. Thank you for the $5. Somebody got hot sauce instead of mustard. Just wait till you get yours. It's coming. Don't worry. When Lane Kiffin goes to Auburn, you'll be real, real sad. Oh, my God. Can you imagine? Who's going to take over the train wreck of Ole Miss if Lane Kiffin leaves? Lane Kiffin's done a great job there. He knows he can't get the NIL support. He's 100%. There's a lot of rumors that Hugh Freeze goes to Auburn, too. Like, when we talked about it earlier in the week, I said I thought Lane was number 1, Hugh Freeze was number 2. There's a lot of steam behind Hugh Freeze. We'll see how that plays out. But imagine being an Ole Miss fan just hanging out in a Tennessee football. Bunch of dorks, 3 dorks just sitting in their offices talking about Tennessee football. Sammy P for 10. At my games, we had the game in the booth, and both coaches had it on their tablets. Will be fine. It's not the end of the world, but might be the end of the playoffs for this year. Maybe.
Maybe not.
That's something we talked about Wednesday. Lou said you don't want to be sitting there with your fingers crossed, hoping the right people lose so you get in. Even still, it doesn't matter. 11-1, New Year's Six Bowl. I'm here for it. Sign me up. I'm here for it. It's so much better than 6-6 and Music City Bowl heartbreak and Snake trying to fight people in the parking lot. This is way better.
Anything besides the Music City Bowl, man.
This is way better. This is way better than celebrating New Year's with Snake in Nashville. Too much disappointment in that city. Too much disappointment in Atlanta.
You missed the exit.
Yeah, let's not talk about the exit. D-Car for another 2, 11-1, number 4 in the college football playoff by year end. Here's to revenge. Thank you, D-Car. We appreciate it, buddy. Wayne Starnes for 2. Love the bar stash dauber. I think most people dig it. I told him he was fired if he let go of it, so we appreciate that. Raj Light for 5. Sesson Bennett 316 said, I just whooped your alls. I don't know what that means. Senior Dog for 2. Is Kent State and Missouri better than Tennessee? Highly doubt it, but thank you for the super chat. Lance for 20. Somebody take Lou's. Come on, guys. Somebody take Lou's keys. Can't afford another game-wise. The offensive game plan was terrible. Thank you for the super chat, Lance. I appreciate it, man. I'm not down with the personal insults, but thank you for the $20. All things Twisted for 5. Let's get Mizzou next week. That's going to be a blowout. Rich Switch for 22 for 5. Getting out coached doesn't mean the end of the world. They can beat the same as the players. They executed their plan. Nobody said to fire anybody.
Hope not.
I don't know if they said that or not. I'm just going by the emotional reaction I see on Twitter. And guys, don't take it personal. When we come in hot with hot takes, we may have seen one person say something, so we come in hot and there's 900 of you in the chat. It doesn't mean all 900 of you said it. You got to realize that. But thank you, Rich, for the super chat. We appreciate it. Nas for 5. Is that like the rapper?
Yeah.
Hendo didn't give us a chance to win today. Looked like last season against Georgia. Defense played their butt off. Go win Irish.
Yeah.
What? Go win Irish. Is this a Notre Dame fan?
Beating Clemson.
Winning Clemson,
Oh,
man.
okay. Okay. Well,
Listen,
I don't care. Do you think I care who Clemson plays?
I want to respond to that again. Do you think that the best quarterback
Oh, he locked up at the perfect time.
Awesome.
and decided all of a sudden?
Oh, again. Come in with those hot takes, Dauber.
Spence.
Hey, let's start this over, Dauber. Hold on a second. Let's reset the stage. Thank you for the super chat. Go ahead, Dauber. Oh, my.
Do you think that the
Now you're good. Go. Full steam ahead.
Do you think that the best quarterback in college football all of a sudden forgot how to throw the ball downfield?
No, Stetson Bennett had a great game.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
He's out of here. Snake's been fired. Snake's been fired. I don't even know how to respond to that. I have no idea how to respond to it. The Georgia fans are going to love that one. That's getting clipped. That's going to be all over the internet, Snake. You just got famous.
just giving Dauber a hard time, man.
Who's the leading into this game, who's the odds-on favorite in Vegas to win the Heisman?
Do you think Hendon Hooker lost a shot at the Heisman? I think he'll still be a finalist. I think he'll be a finalist.
Look at what Stroud did today against Northwestern.
I think he's done.
Northwestern.
I think he's done.
Hooker played against number 3 ranked Georgia and still was 23 of 33 for 195. Yeah, he had a pick.
They're going to give it to Bo Nix or C.J. Stroud. I mean,
yeah, it's because Stroud plays 4 quarters against cupcake games.
Yeah, I know.
Adding those stats, baby. But they can't win a natty. They'll get a Heisman, but they can't win a natty.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny to look back at it because we talked about it at the beginning of the season. Hendon Hooker just needs to win 10 games. If he wins 10, he'll be right in the mix. And now I think today was his shot to really truly lock down that Heisman. And I think he probably cost it. I think he lost it today. He
just didn't make any. He just didn't make any really sweet, amazing throws that I remember. I don't know. Maybe you guys caught a couple of them, but like the throw that Stetson Bennett threw underneath the goalpost that they kept talking about, that was a pretty dang good throw.
Yep.
And he dropped a couple other deep balls right in their pocket. It sort of elevated him in my mind, and I'm afraid it made Hendon look a little bit, probably dropped a couple notches in the Heisman race.
Stetson Bennett is so much better than people give him credit for.
Is he not?
He's so much better. And I said it going into the week. I'm like, he is sneaky athletic. And I heard some people.
6'5".
Yeah, exactly. And I heard people say, No, go ahead.
Now, if he was 6'5", he would be the number one front runner for every award ever. But just because of his size, they don't give him any credit, it seems like.
And isn't it funny because Will Levis gets all the credit because he's got the NFL frame. Imagine Stetson Bennett with the frame of Will Levis. That's a true NFL first-round draft pick. Yeah. But everybody wants to give the credit to Will Levis. Let me hit some more Super Chats here. Matthew Ford for 2. Alabama struggling tonight. I've not been paying attention to the score.
Down 7-0.
Seth Brooks for $100. How did I miss $100 Super Chat? I'll play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Seth for $100 says, honestly, Dauber, the Fu Manchu makes me feel better. Sorry for saying we looked like trash earlier. Just emotional after that loss. Still proud of this season. Natty is still a possibility.
I'm a Seth, man.
Dauber winning people over with the stash. Bringing people together.
Me too, Dauber.
Man, it's...
Maybe I should grow one out.
You should.
It's a stash party.
It is.
You'd have to paint it on or something, Boogie.
Yeah, I would. I know. I'm like a 12-year-old. I got the room and the face of a 12-year-old.
I texted him. I did what Danny White said to do. I texted a buddy and said, man, it after all the apathy of the last 20 years, I said, man, it hurts to watch them play so bad when you know how good this team potentially is and where their ceiling is, because they could have come out and played toe-to-toe with Georgia. They had some miscues, and yeah.
Couldn't get over the hump, man.
Couldn't get over it. And I'll – listen, we're, an hour and right at an hour after the game. And I'm not quite as emotional now. And I will say, yeah, Snake, I think that there is some to say towards your take on being out-coached. But I still stand behind that this team was out-talented because I think that there is a gap that is noted and marked between Tennessee and Georgia. Look at the back end of the defense, first of all.
Look at the front end of it.
Yeah.
Look at look at both lines. It's amazing how well our players have done this year and how much they've improved and how much they've been coached up, how much heart they've had this year for big wins. It's amazing where they've gotten to. But like you said, we still don't have that caliber of players in my mind. So,
but that's what leads to the emotional reaction from the majority of this fan base.
Yeah.
Right? When you overperform, when you do more with less, then all of a sudden you walk up on a dominant football team that says, oh, cool, you like to throw the ball deep and use creative matchups and motion. We're going to come out and we're going to get in your face and we're going to play man-to-man defense and see if you can beat us.
Yep.
And they couldn't do it. Tennessee could not do it.
And we're still playing 10, 12 yards off the ball on third down to give them a 8-yard pass to get 10 yards, and all they got to do is take a step and fall forward, and they got it easily.
There was one specific play that drove me nuts because I was watching Turnage specifically. It was like a 3rd and 8, and he was 10 yards off the ball, and he backpedaled 2 to 3 yards, and it's like
not even in the picture.
Yeah, it's easy pitch and catch.
It was more than once, but I mean that's what that in my mind, like you were saying, that's what the coaches have to do right now to keep us competitive, and so we can't blame the coaches, we can't blame the players. They've played amazing this year. It's gotten us this far, and let's see where we go in the future, right?
Let me hit a few more super chats here. Gate City Blue Devil for 20. Thank you for super chat. Better to get beat by Georgia than Georgia State. I'll take where we are and where we're going, GBO. Gosh, I was thinking about that getting ready to go live. It's like this show's going to suck, but it's like nothing compares to that Georgia State night. How far we've come. That thinking that losing to a top-ranked team is rock bottom is you're delusional.
I'll just throw that out. Good point, buddy. Thanks, Flint.
Joe Williams for 5. Hooker would only look right, never looked off Tillman and Hyatt. Doesn't mean he is bad QB. Thank you, Joe, for the super chat.
Calm down, man.
Mario Perkins for 5. I'll admit I listened to just about all of Uncle Lou's videos. Why? Because he is a walking, talking clown show who doesn't like to laugh. Go Vols. Thank you, Mario, for the super chat. I'm pretty sure Lou's already got bored and left because he didn't get enough attention. Casey for 10.
No, he just popped.
Oh, did he really?
Awesome.
Man, I took a shot at Lou right when he's still here listening. That's amazing. What'd Lou say? Is it worth reading?
No.
Nah. Come on, Lou.
1998.
Up your game, Lou. Up your game. Casey for 10. I don't think he forgot how to throw the ball, but I do think he misjudged how much time he had in the pocket. He wasn't throwing the ball away when there was nothing to gain. He's not faced that, though, this year. He's not faced a whole lot of pressure, and Georgia got after him, and, God, he just did not get rid of the football. An orange sea lion, snake. How would you read that last word in that username?
I guess sea lion. Why?
Isn't sea lion 2 words?
Say Leon. How about Say Leon?
Yeah, I've been reading it Cillian for months, but look at his avatar. Now tell me what it is.
I'm pretty sure it's an orange Say Leon.
Sea lion. We'll call him Sea Leon. If you would have told me in July we'd be 8-1 with just a loss to Georgia, I would have been ecstatic. Tonight was just a reminder we need a couple more years of talent. 100%. Keep stacking those recruiting classes. Keep building momentum. Go finish 11-1, and people can say whatever they want to say. People can throw insults. I don't care.
Some clips in, and we're on the way, baby.
Does not matter. It does not matter. Keep winning. If this football team finishes 11-1 and they go to a New Year's Six Bowl and they go represent themselves well in a good Lord have mercy. Apparently I need to go to bed. New Year's Six Bowl. They're going to be just fine, Dauber. They're going to be just fine.
Yeah, and that's the reality of the fact is it's year 2. Year 2. I said it at the top of the show. Josh Heupel has won 8 conference games. You compare that to the last 3 coaches, and come on. This program is trending in the right direction.
Hold on a second. Chad, no, mods do not keep deleting Lou. Lou's fine. He can talk all the trash he wants. Go ahead, Dauber.
Yeah, I mean, if you think otherwise, if you think that this team is not trending in the right direction, I mean, look at the chat right now. Look at all these Georgia fans that are in here gloating after they won by 2 scores to a team that played their worst game of the season.
Well, I mean, passion, right? We got some passion back in.
And
this win meant something. This win meant something.
Stand us, right?
It meant something.
Now they're annoyed, right?
That's what we said in the tailgate show. It's awesome to be back to where these big games matter. And you're not going into them apathetic, and you're not like, well, we've got Florida, we've got Alabama, we've got Georgia. How are we going to lose, and by how many? I fully felt this team would come out and play toe-to-toe with Georgia today. And the chips fell where they did, and this team made some mistakes, showed their Achilles heel, the back end of the defense. I think that's really what burned this team. You look at I've got 4 things starred in my notes right here. Big plays in the secondary. Turnage beat for 40+. Slaughter giving up a double move for a touchdown. It's that right there. It's things that can be corrected when you close that talent gap.
That's not what lost the game, though.
That's not.
We couldn't score.
That's
and
2
our
scores,
offensive
though.
line,
But we got beat by 2
like
scores.
7
We got
penalties.
beat by 2 scores, and you're giving up 40 and 56-yard plays. I mean, granted, the offense didn't score. The offense didn't do what they've done all season, averaging almost 40 points a game.
Yep.
But the defense, I mean, you don't give up those big chunk plays. It's a different story too, brother.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we don't let them score and we kick a field goal, we win. But, I mean, we can't have the turnovers and we can't have the penalties. We got to get, we got to be a little bit better pocket presence. We got to get open, wide receiver. We got to score. I mean, we know where the defense is.
I mean, that's the thing. If I told you before the game, and the magic number was 30, that was the magic number. And if I told you before the game, Georgia's going to score 27, how confident would you be?
Yeah,
I think most of the people that tune into this show would have said, hey, Tennessee's going to win this football game.
Yeah.
The storyline coming out of this thing is just how dominant Georgia's defense was, particularly their defensive backs. Like, I think their defensive backs won the football game. Let me hit a couple more super chats here. Andrew Fielding for 5. Notre Dame beats Clemson. LSU beats – I don't want to play this game. LSU beats Bama. Texas beats TCU. Georgia destroys LSU. And we make the college football playoff with resume. Hashtag Go Big Orange. Good Lord, can somebody write that down? I'll never remember that. I'll never remember who I'm supposed to be pulling for. Rye Guy becomes a member of the channel. Thank you, Rye Guy. We appreciate it. Austin Byers for 10, year 2. Heupel is still playing with a pretty bare cupboard. Let's get the rematch. This is just a taste of what Heupel can do. Can't wait for Nico and others to arrive in Knoxville. Thank you for the super chat, Austin. That's the key, man. Once they start stocking that talent, and again, I'm not playing the moral victories. I am not playing moral victories. Georgia won. Georgia deserved to win. They're the better football team. Said it for weeks. People hated it. People yelled at me. People got pissed at me, but it's the reality. They are the best football team in the country. People talked about this game and that game. They were sleepwalking. They showed up. Today it mattered, and they beat Tennessee. And I would not be surprised at all to see them go beat Alabama, LSU, whoever shows up in the SEC championship game. I fully expect Georgia to win that game, and they'll roll into the college football playoffs on fire. Do they get it done? I don't know, but they'll have a shot. They'll have a shot at it. They're a good football team, and I think that's the storyline coming out of this game. Where is Tennessee at? You got to be happy. 11-1. That's why we had the Come to Jesus meeting to start the show. Dauber, any final thoughts before we wrap up the post-game show?
I don't even know what to think.
Yell at somebody. That's always fun.
I'll echo what you said. The better team won the football game today. There's things to clean up. Moving forward, you've got 3 extremely winnable games that could put you at 11-1, and that is icing on the cake, because it was 8-4 what I said, and I'm all here for 11-1 and playing in a New Year's 6 game, potentially, and hey, we backdoored our way into the SEC championship the last time we were there. I'm okay with backdooring my way into the playoffs, but I mean, it is what it is. If you are not happy with the trajectory of this program after a year and a half with Coach Josh Heupel and this staff, then, man, just go find something else to do. Basketball season starts next week. We don't need you.
Lose my number, bro. Lose my number. Snake, final comments.
No, yep. I hope we get to meet him again in the playoffs. So we have a chance. Amazing season so far. Let's keep it rolling.
Here, I'll let you know my final comments. Let me think about what I want to say. As I look back on this Tennessee-Georgia game, what could I possibly want to say? I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none. I don't know any better way to sum it up. We do have a couple of super chats we'll hit here before we get out the door. As always, go check out the merchandise. Go to bonfire.com/store/talkinballs. Also, if you guys want to get involved in the NIL game, you can do that. There is a link in the description below where you can contribute money to Spire Sports Group, but also kick a little bit back our way. The link is in the description below. We would appreciate that support as well. Let me hit these last couple of super chats. Eric Wallen for $10. Would you rather have a dominant Sugar Bowl win or a first-round loss in the college football playoffs? Go Vols. Still hype about this season. Let's just go around the room real quick, sum it up. I would say college football playoff just because of nationally relevant and all eyes on you.
That's a tough one.
I don't know.
They both disagree with me, but they don't have the nuts to say it.
No, I mean that's.
I would take the Sugar Bowl because it's a win and you don't end in a loss. No, I would also take a
It's
chance
like saying
to
6
go
of one,
win
half
in the
a dozen of
playoffs.
the other.
I mean, what you want a chance to win. So if we get there, we're going to win.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Come on.
Ronnie Cantrell for $20. That ain't cheap. I feel our defense played a pretty good game against the number 2 offense in the country. I think they're coming into their own. I don't know. There's a big difference between the Kentucky game and today.
Yeah. To me, there were several things on the defense tonight that were glaring issues. And like I said, if I'm an offensive coordinator going against Tennessee, I'm going vertical and attacking that back half of the defense, 80% of the time.
Billy Benfield for $2. Thank you for super chat. Your season is over. Program has come a long way. Go Dogs. Congrats, Billy. Congrats on the win. People that want to insult us is comical when we've congratulated you over and over and over and called you the superior program, but it's cool. I'll take your money all the way to the bank. That's going to do it for this one. The day after video coming tomorrow. I'll sleep on this thing, think about it, put some thoughts together, bring you that video. We'll be live Sunday night for the NCAA stream. We'll talk for 2-3 hours about this thing. Next Sunday, NCAA is going on the shelf. We're going to have to talk a little basketball. Not tomorrow, but next Sunday. We're going to be talking Tennessee basketball every single Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Tune in right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. Should be a good time. Once things settle down, I'll figure out where to kind of plug in the NCAA stream. But that's going to do it for this one. For Dauber, for Snake, my name is Boogie Bentley. Georgia can kiss my ass. Go Big Orange.